Have you ever felt like someone in your life is subtly draining your energy, leaving you emotionally exhausted? It could be that you're dealing with someone whose intentions go beyond ordinary conflict or disagreements, someone whose actions are intentionally harmful. In this video, we're diving into 5 warning signs that someone in your life may be toxic or even malevolent. We'll turn to Stoic philosophy for insight and guidance on how to recognize and protect yourself from such people. Stick with us to the end, where we'll share a powerful strategy for setting firm boundaries that can safeguard your peace and mental well-being. Ready? Let's jump in. 1. The charmer. Too good to be true. We've all met that person, the one who walks into a room and lights it up with their charm. They know exactly how to make you feel important, like you've just made a new best friend. At first, it feels amazing to be around them. They're fun, engaging, and seem genuinely interested in your life. But over time, the cracks in their facade start to show. You begin to notice that they always need to be the center of attention. When you try to share something about your life, they quickly redirect the conversation back to themselves. They might interrupt, talk over you, or even subtly put you down in front of others. This is where the Stoic principle of apatheia, remaining emotionally undisturbed by external things, becomes incredibly useful. When dealing with a person who relies on charm to manipulate those around them, staying balanced and grounded can help you see through their act. The Stoics believed that emotional balance allows us to perceive situations more clearly, free from the biases that emotional highs and lows can create. Marcus Aurelius advised that we should not be swayed by the external charm of others, but rather seek to observe their actions over time. You're at a party, and this charming person is telling jokes, captivating the crowd, and everyone seems to love them. At first, you feel privileged to be in their presence, but as the night goes on, you notice that they dominate every conversation. When someone else tries to contribute, they're quickly cut off or overshadowed by another joke or story. Eventually, you feel a sense of unease. Why does everything have to be about them? This is a red flag, and according to Stoicism, it's crucial to observe these behaviors with a clear mind. Don't let the initial excitement of their charisma blind you to their true nature. In relationships, people who rely on charm often become manipulative when things don't go their way. If their charisma isn't enough to keep them at the center of attention, they might resort to more harmful tactics, like passive-aggressive comments, defensiveness, or even anger. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that anger and manipulation are signs of a lack of virtuous character. Think about how this person reacts when the attention shifts away from them. Do they handle it with grace, or do they try to regain control of the situation? This is where their true character is revealed. The Stoics teach us to be observant and not rush to judgments based on first impressions. It's easy to get swept up by charm, but it's wiser to take your time and observe how they treat others over an extended period. Epictetus believed that we should carefully evaluate the character of those we allow into our inner circle, as their true nature is often revealed in how they behave when they think no one is watching. 2. Lack of empathy, the subtle disconnect. Empathy is one of the fundamental traits that allows us to connect with others on a deep level. It's what helps us understand someone else's pain, share in their joy, and offer support when it's needed most. But some people are completely disconnected from this trait. They seem utterly incapable of understanding or caring about the impact of their actions on others. The Stoics believed in the importance of compassion and understanding as essential virtues. Marcus Aurelius spoke often about the interconnectedness of humanity, saying that we are made to work together, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth. When someone lacks empathy, it creates a rupture in this connection, a clear sign that they're operating outside of the Stoic ideals of wisdom and justice. You're going through a difficult time, and you decide to open up to a friend, hoping for some support. Instead of showing concern or empathy, they brush off your feelings or even make you feel worse for sharing them. They might say something like, "You're being too sensitive," or "You're overreacting," leaving you feeling isolated and misunderstood. It's not just that they're unsupportive, it's that they seem entirely indifferent to your pain. This is a major red flag. Empathy isn't just about being there for someone in their tough times, it's also about sharing in their happiness. A person who lacks empathy might not only ignore your struggles, but also downplay your successes. Instead of celebrating with you, they may make snide remarks, change the subject, or even take credit for your accomplishments. This behavior can be particularly harmful in work environments. Consider a boss who consistently pushes employees to the brink, showing no concern for their well-being. They might demand excessive hours, ignore requests for time off, or publicly criticize employees in a way that's meant to humiliate rather than guide. Stoicism teaches us to maintain our inner peace in such situations, recognizing that the lack of empathy in others is a reflection of their own character, not ours. Lack of empathy can show up in subtle ways, like someone interrupting conversations to talk about themselves or failing to offer help when it's clearly needed. Over time, these small signs add up and reveal a deeper issue. The Stoics encourage us to be observant and discerning when it comes to the behavior of others. If you find yourself dealing with someone who consistently lacks empathy, it's important to set boundaries to protect your mental and emotional health. As Seneca said, "We are all waves of the same sea," and when someone cannot show basic empathy, they're disconnected from this greater human connection. You have the right to distance yourself from those who drain your energy and bring negativity into your life. 3. The Manipulator, master of deception. Manipulation is one of the most insidious traits someone can have. It's subtle, often hard to detect at first, but over time it can have a devastating impact on those who fall victim to it. Manipulators are skilled at twisting situations, making you question your reality, and bending your will to suit their needs. From a Stoic perspective, manipulation is the ultimate violation of clarity and truth. The Stoics valued rational thought and the ability to see things as they truly are. When someone manipulates you, they are deliberately clouding your perception and distorting reality. This goes against everything that Stoicism stands for: clarity, wisdom, and truth. You confront a friend about something hurtful they said, hoping for an apology or an honest conversation. Instead, they twist the situation, making you feel like you're overreacting, or that you misunderstood what happened. This tactic, known as gaslighting, is a favorite tool of manipulators. Over time, gaslighting erodes your confidence, making you doubt your own perceptions and judgments. Stoicism teaches us to stay grounded in reality, no matter how hard someone tries to distort it. Manipulators also excel at playing the victim. They might use guilt to get what they want, making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. For example, you might have a friend who constantly complains about their problems, expecting you to drop everything to help them, but they're never there for you in return. They might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you'd do this for me," making you feel obligated to comply. This form of manipulation leaves you feeling drained and powerless. Manipulation often comes in the form of subtle tactics like gaslighting, guilt-tripping, or playing the victim. It's easy to fall into the trap, but Stoicism teaches us to remain vigilant and trust in our own rational thought. Epictetus reminds us that we cannot control others, but we can control how we respond. Manipulators rely on confusion and doubt to exert control, but the Stoic practice of clarity and discernment helps us see through their deceit. Always seek the truth and refuse to be swayed by the manipulations of others. Stoicism teaches that virtue and self-worth come from within, not from the approval or manipulation of others. 4. The control freak, taking away your autonomy. One of the most obvious signs of an evil person is their desire to control others. This goes beyond mere preferences or strong opinions. This is about someone who seeks to dominate every aspect of your life, leaving little room for your own autonomy. The Stoics, who valued personal freedom and self-control, would see this behavior as fundamentally opposed to living a virtuous life. Epictetus taught that true freedom comes from within, and that while we cannot control external events or other people, we have full control over our own thoughts and actions. A controlling person, however, tries to take away this freedom, dictating how you should think, act, and live. You're in a relationship with someone who insists on knowing your whereabouts at all times, demands access to your phone, or tells you who you can and cannot spend time with. At first, this might seem like concern or care, but over time it becomes clear that their behavior is about control, not love. Stoicism teaches us to recognize that this kind of control is a violation of our personal autonomy, and that we must take steps to reclaim our freedom. Control can also manifest in financial ways. A controlling partner or family member might take charge of all financial decisions, limiting your access to resources and making you financially dependent on them. This type of control makes it difficult for you to leave the relationship or assert your independence. Controlling behavior often starts small, but over time it becomes suffocating. Stoicism reminds us to guard our autonomy and take steps to protect our freedom. Epictetus teaches us that while we cannot control others, we must maintain control over our own minds and actions. When faced with someone who seeks to dominate, it's important to set firm boundaries and protect your autonomy. Stoicism reminds us that true freedom lies within, and we must resist any attempts to take that away. 5. The pathological liar, twisting reality. Pathological lying is perhaps the most destructive behavior of all. Unlike the occasional white lie, pathological liars deceive constantly. Often without any apparent reason, they fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to suit their needs. This can be incredibly damaging to relationships, as it erodes trust and creates a web of deceit that's difficult to untangle. The Stoics valued truth and integrity above all else. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that living a virtuous life requires aligning our actions with truth. When someone lies pathologically, they are living in direct opposition to this Stoic ideal, creating a false reality that benefits only themselves. You have a colleague who constantly lies about their qualifications, their contributions to projects, or even about other people in the workplace. At first, these lies might seem harmless or even amusing, but over time they begin to create a toxic environment. Trust is eroded, and it becomes difficult to know who or what to believe. The Stoics would remind us to remain vigilant and discerning in such situations, always seeking the truth and refusing to participate in the deceit. In personal relationships, pathological lying can be even more destructive. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their past, their feelings, or their whereabouts. Over time, this creates a sense of insecurity and doubt. You might find yourself constantly questioning what's true and what's fabricated, which leads to a toxic cycle of mistrust and confusion. Pathological liars often mix truth with lies, making it even harder to discern what's real. The Stoics teach us to remain observant and critical, not taking things at face value, but instead seeking the truth through careful consideration and evidence. Epictetus teaches us to trust in our own perceptions and not be swayed by the deceit of others. Pathological liars thrive on confusion, but by practicing Stoic vigilance, we can see through their lies and maintain our inner clarity. Now that we've explored the signs of toxic individuals, how can we protect ourselves? The Stoic answer is simple: boundaries. Setting boundaries is not just about shielding ourselves from harm. It's about declaring our self-worth and our commitment to living a virtuous life. Boundaries allow us to protect our peace and ensure that our relationships are healthy and balanced. If you have a friend who frequently belittles you or puts you down, it's essential to set a clear boundary. You might say, "I value our friendship, but I won't tolerate being spoken to in a disrespectful manner. If this continues, I'll need to distance myself." This approach is firm but fair, and it leaves no room for misinterpretation. The Stoics believed that clarity and discipline are key to maintaining order in our relationships. By consistently upholding our boundaries, we demonstrate self-respect and teach others how to treat us. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, it's a clear sign that they do not respect you or your limits, and it may be necessary to reassess the relationship. Setting boundaries isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. As relationships evolve, your boundaries may need to be adjusted. Stoicism teaches us to remain flexible but firm, always prioritizing our own well-being. Epictetus taught that we should not allow others to disturb our inner peace. By setting and maintaining clear boundaries, we can protect ourselves from the harmful influence of toxic individuals and live more authentically in alignment with our values. In a world filled with deception, manipulation, and control, Stoicism offers a path to clarity, peace, and personal autonomy. Recognizing the signs of toxic individuals is the first step in reclaiming your power and protecting your well-being. By practicing the Stoic virtues of wisdom, self-control, and integrity, you can navigate even the most challenging relationships with grace and strength. Remember, as the Stoics teach us, no one can take away your peace unless you allow them to. If you found value in this video, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who might need to hear this message today. Keep living with wisdom, and we'll see you in the next video.